Good evening, good evening, good evening, Prep News family. It's been a minute. But we are here. We are here now with this monstrous round robin table. Directly across from me, up top is Travis Usey, St. Amant Gators basketball. Below me is a good friend, brother, Eddie Hamilton, Allied Vikings basketball, and diagonally is my other brother, Russ, point guard you wherever he goes. Southside Sharks basketball, and just added is he's one of the hottest coaches in the state right now. Ponchatoula Greenway's own Tom Tate. Tom or Thomas?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How y'all men doing tonight?
I'm doing fine.
Doing good. Doing good.
I don't know if I should be here. Too much greatness.
Okay. Okay.
Well, let me add a little bit more. From the New Orleans area, please welcome.
Hear me?
Holy Cross basketball, Mr. Kirkwood. Welcome. Man, this is a star-studded cast. Coach Hamilton, you know, I don't know if I could have expressed it any better other than a lot of greatness on this screen. Hey, let's just go top across, starting with Travis, then Todd, Mr. Kirkwood, Tom, and then Eddie. Y'all just tell the viewers a little bit something about yourselves, man.
All right, I'll start, I guess. Travis Usey, I've been in Santa Maria for 10 years. Having a fun year this year for sure, and I'm excited to do this. I guess push over to do this and bother you guys on a Thursday, but I thought it'd be interesting for us to kind of sit down and maybe talk about our area basketball and what's going on and some teams that are good. And since we're getting towards the back end of our season, I thought it would be a good time for us to try and promote some basketball. I don't think they do that enough around here for us, at least. So I kind of pushed over to do that, and I knew he could get a good group together, and we could just talk some hoops a little bit about where we're at. And we're in the Baton Rouge area, and so we got some good teams, and excited to kind of talk about a few of those teams that I think maybe can make some noise in the playoffs, and some teams to look forward to.
Coach Russ.
Hey, welcome guys. Appreciate y'all inviting me on. Todd Russ, first year at Southside. Excited about the direction the program is heading. It was in good hands when I took over, and right now we're just trying. I don't want to say Southside we're not rebuilding or anything like that. I guess we rebranding a little bit, playing a little different brand of basketball, and there's definitely some good teams in this Acadiana area. And again, appreciate you guys having me on.
No doubt, man. Mr. Kirkwood, my guy.
How are you gentlemen doing, man? I'm sorry for the delay, man. I'm actually out in Baton Rouge at the convention for my principal. So, listen, this is my 12th year at Holy Cross. Been the head basketball coach there for 9 years. I'm stepping into my 3rd year as the athletic director, so I'm kind of sitting in both roles. The New Orleans area is a hotbed of talent this year, especially the league that I'm in now, man. The Catholic League is so balanced this year with the addition of Carr, Jesuit, St. Aug, Brother Martin Rummel, John Curtis. All of our teams are like neck and neck, and so it's some really, really good basketball in the New Orleans area.
I agree. T. Taylor.
What's up, my man?
What's up, my guy?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having us. This is an interesting experience. Kind of first time I've ever been around one of this. I've talked to all these guys, but not all at once like this. Anyway, it's awesome. I'm Tom Taylor from Ponchatoula High School, representing, I guess, the North Shore area. North Shore, I think, is an underrated basketball area. because you play a lot of our teams, you're going to get a very competitive game. We've been very lucky to have a good year. We've been blessed through, I think we're fourth right now, and I'm just happy to be in the mix. It's my 10th year, so we paid some dues, and I think it's time.
Yeah. Hey, excuse me, big brother. Let's shout out to the Coaches Podcast first. Let's do that. You guys, it was originally airing on Thursday nights until basketball season.
Hey, man, you didn't give Eddie a chance to introduce himself, man.
He's getting a chance. I had to beat him to the punch, bro, with that Coaches Podcast, though. I had to get him. Every time I got to get him first. Go ahead, Eham.
Oh man, Lord have mercy. Eddie Hamilton, Bossier City, Louisiana. This is my third first year at Alline High School. And Uzi know a whole lot about Alline. Him and Chris White was real tight over the years, man. They had some battles, man.
We had some good games, some good battles.
This is my first year. I mean, coming in the middle of COVID, every year protocols change, life change. So this is my first year. That's my excuse. So we fight, we scrapping, we figured it out.
Hey, he says that, man, but I think 2 of the 3 years he's beaten one of the toughest teams in District 15A, and that's Natchitoches Central. Like, it's not easy to travel there and beat Natchitoches Central, but he's a program rebuilder. So when you keep, Fair Park rebuild, Southwood rebuild, he's got to rebuild Airline. Sometimes it just takes a little bit longer than others. So, hey, what can you say? Man, I want to tell you this, man. When Travis called me about this, man, I was really excited about it. But because just like you guys, this is a first for me. So I've been thinking all day, man, what direction should I go in? What direction should I go in? Man, how do I do this the right way so that the next group of coaches will come on and be comfortable and be willing participants? Because a lot of times coaches think that when they come on to a show like this, they're coming on to give away their trade secrets about their team. No, that's not what this is. I'm not personally asking about trade secrets. I'm asking about concepts. Transitions that you guys sometimes use to help your kids get a better IQ and understanding of what it is that your ball club requires of them to be successful. And so when I think about this, my first question for everyone is I was stumped by it because I did not like. I love the districts and the classifications of basketball. I'm stumped by this select, non-select. Let's start, Travis. What are your thoughts on the new transition from select to non-select?
I think my first thoughts are that it would be nice if we were all together, and that'd be a pretty amazing bracket. I think that kind of is everyone that kind of maybe has an older school mentality or thinking about it. And then you look at, the way that it broke down this year, it got even more separated and all over the place. The one thing I will say about it is I do think that there is some competitiveness left in the playoff system. I don't think it's ideal for everyone, but I do believe there's a lot of competitiveness left. I'm looking at brackets and looking at teams in our area, and I'm going, every division. And Baton Rouge, I love Baton Rouge basketball, so I'm going to defend that, forever. But every division has a team that I think in our Baton Rouge area that has a chance to make some noise. And I think that's exciting. But my old school thinking is I wish we had more of a come together deal. But it is what it is. And they always want to talk about doing it for the kids. Well, the kids are still playing. Like, we're still lining up and playing. I mean, our kids don't care that they're select, non-select. We're playing, Zachary on Tuesday. It doesn't matter. We're playing, we played Catholic High a few weeks ago. It didn't matter. Like, our kids just, we go fight. And, some of those we did okay, some not so much. But, if we're doing it for the kids, then let's just keep playing basketball. And again, I know it's not ideal for everybody, but I like the idea that, kids are kids and they're going to play. It doesn't matter who they're playing against. And I think that's what we teach as coaches, so let's not worry about the brackets and the select, non-select. Let's line up and let's be competitive and play some good basketball. And, let the people over at LHSA figure all that stuff out. And, so it's not really on our radar, but I wish it could all come together on some level, but man, we playing basketball and we're going to play whoever we have to play and get our kids excited about it.
Fellas, we're trying to keep the show limited to 1 hour so y'all can go back and be with y'all family.
I'm sorry right there. I was a little long-winded.
Just, again, it's the middle of the week. You guys still have to get up and go to work. You guys have to game plan and watch film for tomorrow. So, Todd, you remember the question? What was your thoughts on select, non-select pairings in his first year?
I'm sorry, who was that directed at?
Ty Russ.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Listen, bro, I'm one of those guys. You got to play. I mean, I'm like usually I would love to bring it all back, but I'm not gonna, beat the drum on it or get on the soapbox about it because, they have to make a decision. And if it's really for the kids, let all the kids compete against each other like it should be. But now, I mean, let's be honest. We're in a society today where everybody wants a trophy, and it's going to be hard once you open that box, and you got guys getting a chance to ride that wave a little bit more. They like it. I mean, everybody likes that pat on the back when you're doing well and like that feeling of being a champion. And, at one time we was talking when it first happened, man, it's watered down. And, who's the real champion in 5A? And one thing I will say, and I don't want to eat up the time, is I like it better this way, even though it's separate. I like it, maybe not how they got to it, but at least now it's a little bit more competitive balance on one side, where at one time you're looking on the select side and, you win 2 games and you're cutting the nets down, or you're winning 3 games and you're cutting the nets down. At least now, if they don't change it, rumor is they may go back to the old way, which is crazy. But at least now it seems a little bit more balanced on both sides, where at one time I felt like you had everything stacked on what was labeled as non-select as opposed to select.
Right. Hey, Mr. Kirkwood, you don't mind if I give you a different question, do you?
Whatever you need to do, man. I'm okay with it.
When it came down to how they were going to make the cutoff or where they were going to make the cutoff for the playoff team, the number they came up with was 28. Again, we were a 32 playoff team. Now, that 16 and 17 matchup that was really that was an amazing game in every class, in every division. What game is going to take over that perspective now?
Man, that's tough for me to answer because, obviously I'm on a different side of the opinion because obviously I get stuck playing 2-3 teams in my district 4 times a year, whether it's in tournaments or whatever. I'm trying to get my district to go to 1 round. because I just think that if we're in this business for kids, then we need to do right by kids. Everybody says that it's a kid business, but they're not treating it as a kid business. So, I mean, I'm like everybody else. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but I'd like to see us get back together because it's just this isn't good, man. And I'm like I said, I'm dealing with it in my league where this year alone, I played Jesuit in the semifinals of the state bracket of the National Prep Classic. I have 2 district games with them. We're all log jammed in the power ratings. If I win one playoff game, I'm going to end up playing another school from my district. Like, it's for like the 8th straight year. Like, we just have to do better, man. Like, I could be a millionaire doing something else. I have a gift of gab, but I'm in education because I want to affect kids' lives. Everybody else have to think like that too.
Right. Tom, Mr. Kirkwood just said something really valuable, I think, and that was in the process of not having to repeat playing the same team. How do we get everybody to go to what's happening? It's already happened in most of the division and classes across the state where they're playing one round of playoff games, and that gives schools and teams more choices of at least 4 to 7 more games because some districts and some divisions have more teams in it than others. How do we get everybody into the same point just for that one thing?
I mean, I'm for it. I'm for the smaller district. If they're talking about taking away a district point for winning the championship, being the first place team, what is the point of having a district? Not everybody. There's a lot of things like rivalries that people like. As far as getting everybody on the same page for, I think it's just going to naturally happen as districts get bigger. I know there's some 8 or 9 team districts, 10 team districts. I mean, you play them twice, that's 20 games. You have 3 bad teams, you're taking big losses. I know, in our district every year there's a team that struggles. And, a few years ago we were one of those teams where you didn't really want to play us. And I think if you forced into playing them twice, but then you look at the Zachary district. You got Scotlandville. I mean, you don't have a bad PowerPoint night. Travis's thing. You don't have a bad PowerPoint night. So I think it'll naturally go that way through the course of time and the rankings if they stay the way they are.
All right, Eddie, we got a comment from the comments section, and I'll add a little bit to it. The statement or question is, or response is, district championships mean nothing to most schools. Is that a true or false statement? And is the goal to win district championship or that marks 8th, 9th, or 10th game?
Oh, so it says the district championships mean something to most schools.
Mean something.
Yeah.
I said nothing, did not.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm just going by this comment, district titles mean it means a whole lot. I mean, it means a lot. For one thing, winning your district gives you a lot of confidence going into the playoffs. When you win your district, man, it gives you a different swag. It just does. Kids have a different attitude. I've been on the side of winning the district, going into the playoffs, and being the 2nd or 3rd place team and going in. It just gives a different attitude. Putting champion behind your name. And then the kids, I always say this, man. High school basketball, high school period. It's if we all here, I'm assuming all of us here have been out of high school for a while, and when you go back to it, it's memories. It's memories.
Right.
I mean, because everybody on your team is not going to college to play basketball. Everybody's not going to get a scholarship to the next level. Every kid can go back, and you go back in your lifetime. You just think about the things you did with the guys when you were kids. I mean, if this is about kids, we're coaches. We love what we're doing. We're going to keep coaching every group that comes through. But when these kids graduate and they go on with their life, I mean, it's a part of the high school experience. And to go and play a district without a district championship, and I mean, like I said, it's I'm not even thinking about the basketball right now. I'm just thinking about the kids' experience and what they're just the highlights of their life, teaching them how to be winners and how to be fighters for what they want. And so that's the biggest thing for me. Like I said, I'm becoming an old head at this, man, and I want to win as much as I can. But at the same time, these kids, we owe them so much more to their high school experience.
Let's switch gears a little bit.
Well,
Men.
hold on, Eddie. Real quick. I like to echo what Eddie said from the standpoint of he is right, man. The change is so much with separating the select and non-select, taking away the point. Like guys, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but that point should mean something. Like it especially in that Ponchatoula district, man. That's not going to be a cakewalk in using your district.
You earn that point.
It's not going. You're going to earn that
absolutely.
point.
Yeah.
I just don't think you do away with.
Right. I think I'm for the point.
Yeah, no. I didn't say you wasn't, but I'm saying we got to earn it, and for them to want to take it away, that becomes dismissive of an accomplishment. You're dismissing those young guys earning something. Those student athletes earning something, man.
Right.
So
right.
I think and then some teams, they're fortunate where they're more dominant and they don't want to play everybody, but I look forward to the district rivals. I look forward to saying,
I tell you what,
your
that's the
district,
best part of our
champ.
season. That's the best part of our season, Coach.
Yeah, we got Carencro coming to tomorrow. We hadn't had a great crowd yet, but it's going to be rocking in the tank tomorrow because those kids are familiar with each other. They're a lot more familiar with the crosstown rivalry, and that means something. So definitely district titles does mean something to those schools.
I think one thing they did this year with these, when they divided up this new bracket, I'll give you one for instance. Salmon is in our division, and you know that, Todd. I mean, he's in our division, but he's in a 4A district, which is kind of a weird deal because look, they got a great squad. Those dudes, they can go. They're a good team, and they might win that district, and then they'll get that point in that bracket, which kind of makes it kind of weird. My opinion is with the district situation, I wish they would come up with a plan across the board. Everybody had to do it. If you're going to give a point for the district, make everybody do the same thing. So say, hey, look, everybody's got to play 2 rounds of district.
Right.
That's how you deserve the point. Or say everybody's got to play a district tournament. That's how you deserve the point. It doesn't matter to me how you do it, but if you're going to give that point and do all that, and I agree with you, Eddie. Look, we won the district one time at Santa Monica. I can't tell you how often we as coaches we talk about that year, how great that was and that moment was. Yeah. So it's critical, and I wish they would come with some kind of idea across the board so they can keep the districts and keep it meaning something, for those kids, because it's one more championship. Look, not everybody wins a state championship, but you can win a district championship, and that means something to those kids, and it damn sure means something to us coaches. I know that.
You also, again, if you're a sophomore that has earned his way on the varsity squad, you let her up, and you get your patch at the end of that year. You get to show that you won district multiple times.
That's right.
So it does mean something, and kids do work hard. I don't think anyone is.
Sorry.
Anyone is knocking that. Again, let's switch gears again real quick, man. I'd like for us to talk about the select, non-select divisions. And can we start with the top 5 division? Starting with the select side. You have Scotlandville at 1, St. Thomas More at 2, Liberty at 3, Catholic Baton Rouge at 4, and a team that you're very familiar with, Eddie, is Huntington from your area.
Yeah.
So, Travis.
Yeah.
Let's take Scotlandville, man.
Yeah. Look, we played Scotlandville and Catholic High this year. Those are 2 really good teams. To be quick, Scotlandville's got the big kid. He's great. The guards are tough. The one thing I'll say in that division I think is going to be interesting is when Derek gets healthy, when Coach Jones gets healthy, and by healthy I mean Nico. When Nico gets healthy, and he's supposed to be coming back here soon, Catholic's tough, and to get on that big court against Scotlandville, I think that could be an interesting situation if that ends up being the deal. But those are the 2, and Liberty's up there like always. But those are the 3 teams in our area that are really, really good, and they're really fun to watch.
My bad,
out of that division.
Coach Russ, STM.
Man, I tell you what, you called out that non-select, and we played STM, Liberty, and Catholic High, and thought we was gonna hook up with Scotlandville at an event, and they spared me. I'll say that they spared me, man. But STM, man, they we played them, had a chance to, man. One of those deals where missed 3 buzzer beaters under 7 seconds. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Where they do that at? But it's a typical Danny Broussard team, man. Gonna play hard, gonna play smart, gonna defend, gonna run their stuff. They got a big kid about 6'7", the Ty Jones kid. He's 6'7", but he's not really a post. And what they have is a lot of they have good size across the board. I don't think anybody. I mean, Ponchatoula has a big kid, but he steps out and shoot it as well. But they have big guards, man. They're gonna run their motion, play their 1-2-2, solid ball club, and I'm sick because between those 3, Liberty, STM, and Catholic High, we lost by a grand total of 8 points, and had it. But you know what? I'm building for later. At the top of 5A, got some in the non-select, some really talented teams. So STM's gonna be there in the end, man. Guy does a great job, and solid ball club.
Right. Tom Taylor, can you take a team that you're familiar with? I think you met them once or twice already this year, and that's Catholic Baton Rouge. You made the hour and 45-minute journey from Ponchatoula to Catholic Baton Rouge, and you did something that's really hard to do, and that's win at Catholic.
Well, yeah. Look, I mean, we went over there. I think it was the 4th game of the season. We started 0-3. We played. We started out with Liberty, and they're as tough as it gets, and that was a 2 overtime war, And then I think we went down to Carver, and then we lost at home to New Iberia. First 3 games were pretty tough, and I was thinking, shit, I got Catholic High here. I'm gonna go to Catholic and 0-4. I didn't do 0-3 real well, and then man, we went over, and Travis and I, we were talking. He said, "There's not too many times that I've lost that many games in a row, and since I knew we were not very good, and man, going over there, and then Alan Graves puts on the show. I think he had a 30, 31, 18, 6 blocks, something like that. Southeastern offering immediately after the game. First time the head coach laid eyes on him, but Catholic. I mean, I knew that it was going to be the toughest game, out of those first 4, really tough, and thank goodness we got them.
Man, I
Quality
had
win, coach. Quality win.
the pleasure of being there, man. That was a phenomenal matchup.
It was.
Eddie, take your team across town, Huntington, man. Matt Jones.
And we got a couple of them up here in the running. Huntington, Shreve, and Southwood up in the top 10. And I'll start with Huntington. Of course, Huntington is always a talented bunch. And they got a legitimate point guard and a legitimate five. Chris Carpenter and the Cedric Webb, Big Mo. And when they're hitting on all cylinders, man, when they get hot, it can get ugly in the gym. So they definitely a formidable opponent. We played them twice this year. And of course, I don't have a lot of firepower. We tried to hang in as best we could. But like I said, it's just a gear that they can hit sometimes. They had a lot of shooting around Carpenter and the Cedric Webb. And then Captain Shreve is our district opponent. We played them to 3 in the Doc Edwards tournament that we host, and then turn around in a district game and lost to them by 26. So Shreve has 3 6'5", 6'6" kids that play around the rim and they can step out and shoot. So he has size across the board. He can go really, really big when he wants to. His guard play, they're young, but they're extremely scrappy, and they can frustrate probably anybody's guards in the state. Just energy. They get to make some mistakes because they got some bigs behind them.
Right.
So Shreve gets to, they can rebound. They run the offense to pound you. And the killer part about it is they're still figuring it out as well.
Right.
But I will say who you got to watch out for, Southwood. I think they got a couple kids back at the break. I didn't realize they had so many seniors. Honestly, I did not realize it. I was there 3 years ago, and of course Jeremiah Evans 6'10" and 6'10". Bottom line, he erases a lot of the mistakes. But they have some nice size. I'm talking about they're like 6'2", 6'3" across the board. And they can get hot as well in transition. And they press, they get up in you a little bit, try to speed you up. And like I said, they let Jeremiah clean everything up at the rim. We had a nice battle with them, fought them as long as we could, and they pulled it out the end with some free throws and a couple of shots. But I'll say be looking out for Southwood, man. I would say they're undefeated in the district right now. I think they beat Shreve by one other night for the leading district 1-5A. And so you got 3 legitimate teams out of 1-5A that I think around the quarterfinals it can start getting real. Yeah.
Todd, come back. Hey, great job, man. Great recap on Division 1 on the select side. Division 2s 1 through 5 is Madison Prep at 1, Peabody at 2, Archbishop Hanna, Archbishop Shaw, respectively, 3 and 4, and Lake Charles College Prep at 5. I was going to let Todd take Lake Charles College Prep first.
There you go.
Okay, there goes Todd. Can you take College Prep first?
Man, I really can't because I'm not one that's going to speak on teams that I haven't played, but y'all got to excuse me. So somebody else take it because I got home on this. I'm eating.
That's not good, huh?
I saw that wine too.
So, man, yeah, bro.
I mean, we're gonna be drinking.
Man, it's Thursday night. We got a game tomorrow. You got to get right.
I gotta go to Baton Rouge and vote on something. I don't know. I gotta go pay attention to that too.
Look, man.
Oh man.
We got back last night off the road. Last night, 11:30. It's been a long day. I'm trying to unwind. So I'm having a little wine. Yes, I am. Because I'm at home. So, but no, college prep I can't, but I did play against Madison Prep. I'll tell y'all this, guys. I really think this is arguably the best job I've seen, and no knock on him in his previous year, but Jeff Jonas coaching his butt off, fellas.
Yeah.
It's not the same level of talent that they've had in the past. They really defend. They commit to running their stuff. Those guards are phenomenal, but it's not at the Brandon Sampson level and the Josh Anderson level of talent, and even Perry. But man, he makes it hard, bro. It was it was, imagine just grinding it out. They came in our place and got us by 16, and I felt like we had a shot, but they just make everything so difficult because they defend every play. Now I can't tell you about that. They defend every play, man, and they're playing Zachary tonight. If that was a closer game, I wouldn't be on this call. I probably would be at that game just to see that one. I know that's going to be a classic.
And they just what, a week and a half ago they just beat Newman, who everybody thinks is all world.
At Newman. Now listen, they beat Newman at Newman. This is the grind that he put them through. Newman, Scotlandville that Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Catholic High that Tuesday. Beat Catholic High.
Yep.
Excuse me, fella. Go to New Orleans and play Newman. Beat them. Drive over to Youngville. I guess we was the JV. We should have been the 5 o'clock game. We was the freaking 5 o'clock JV game. And then turn around the next day and go play North Shore in New Orleans.
God.
And then they went to Dunham a couple days yesterday, and they beat Dunham at Dunham. That ain't an easy place to win either.
Wow.
I mean, it's a smaller school.
And they're going to Zachary.
They're at Zachary tonight.
God.
But I'm saying they lost the game. Look,
that.
They lost the game a couple weeks ago to Scotlandville and kind of got beat pretty good, and it looked like that might have pissed them off a little bit.
Yeah,
and ever since then, they have just steamrolled everybody.
Yeah.
So maybe they needed that little whooping by Scotlandville to just go ahead and, I think they might run away with this thing. But the interesting thing will be Hannon, which is Thomas. That's your area over there. But, I know those guys are tough. But
let me say this real quick about college prep. I haven't seen them this year, but those are some really resilient kids at college prep. They've had, since 2018, they've had Matt Guillory, Kevin Hunt, and the new coach that they have now. They've had 3 coaches in 4 years. So shout out to the resiliency of the kids in the Lake Charles area.
Yeah.
All right. So,
and going through a storm.
Right. And still trying to recover from a storm. Yeah. So shout out to the Lake Charles area, man. And those teams have, Lagrange,
Eddie, I'm sorry. I saw them last year just do a walkthrough. I was at Zachary, and LCCP came through and did a walkthrough. You got to give that young coach a lot of credit, man. It was organized. He was high energy. The kids were bouncing off the wall for him. And we all as coaches know, once you get the buy-in, whatever it may be, once you get the buy-in to whatever your system is and get kids to believe in it and want to be a part of it, they struggled last year. Just last year, they went through some tough times early on. But, man, for what he's doing right now, you got to get, I think it's Andres is his name. I don't know him real well, but I watched him, and I watched the way his kids responded to him. So I'm not surprised about the success that he's having. I have not seen him this year, though.
Right.
We scrimmaged them, and they had some nice-looking kids. They had a nice little group. We scrimmaged them. I'm sure he's missing some guys, but
Tom,
yes, sir.
Can you do a double dip?
Can double dip?
Yeah, Shaw and Hannah and Shaw.
I've just watched Shaw on film. I know they've because they played some common opponents. They play a tough schedule. I've used a lot of their film to help get to where we at right now and understand, because I see a lot of similarities with their competitiveness. Very tough. They just I think they've lost a couple close games. I think they beat North Shore. I think that they're going to give anybody a run for their money any given night. And the same thing goes for Hannon. Coach Golf, Errol Golf, he's been running the show over there for some years now. And I started with Coach Golf. He was the first guy I worked for when I moved to Hammond, and he said we had 5 a.m. practices, and I gave him. I was 19, 20 years old, I guess, and I looked at him like he was crazy. And he's there at 5 a.m. and you go back to Hannah, and he's got about 7 or 8 guys up there warming up, and you look at him, you're like, those 7 or 8 guys can go. And I say, y'all still get up here at 5 a.m. and they give me the same look, like, yeah, he's still crazy. And he is, but man, the man gets the most out of his players.
Yeah.
He coaches them. You even know what they're gonna do. You know what they're gonna do, and they do it right in front of you. Kind of reminds me of an old Mark Cassio team. Just they were going to take care of their business and run their stuff and grind you. They've beaten some really good. They beat Scotlandville earlier this year too.
Yeah.
Man, hey, can we move Division 3? Isidore Newman, Metairie Park Country Day 2, Calvary Baptist 3, Episcopal 4, ML King Charter, I believe that's out of the New Orleans area, at 5. So let Eddie, Episcopal. No, I'm sorry, Calvary Baptist, Eddie, my bad. That was for Travis.
Bro, I've seen them a handful of times this year. And just for note, after me, Todd just played them. So,
and oh man, yeah. Go ahead, Eddie.
But let me tell you something, man. I didn't see anything on that game, but I've seen them play about 3 or 4 times this year. They beat Huntington. They had it was a big win for that program. They're young, and them jokers can shoot. They can shoot the ball. I'm talking about, like, you can't just key in on one. I saw at least 5 different kids, maybe even 6, that if that ball gets to swinging, them jokers can shoot, man. And defensively, they mix it up. They just mix it up. Big Morris he's gonna get all the film he can get, and he's gonna try to make sure he knows his opponent as best as he can and prepare. But those kids are feisty. They're on the mission, and I'm gonna let you know right now, you can't get them loose because them jokers can shoot the ball.
Man, I tell you what, we go over there after getting skull drugged by Madison on Friday, and we take a trip up to Shreveport, and guys got off the bus a little PO'd, and we started taking care of business. I told them at halftime, I said, guys, they're at home and they're missing shots that we laid on closeouts. Sure enough, that ball got to swinging. That ball started going through the hole. Something that never happened in my career, man. And hoping you get me on this show, you make me relive it. Thank you. That's what I get for coming on this goddamn show. And we had them down 19, man, and came back and beat us in overtime by 2.
Wow.
And just showed a lot of fight. Vic did a phenomenal job. He outcoached me on that night. And I told my guys it was, as a coach, I got to do a better job, man. And they're feisty, bro. And the thing about them is not just one guy. It's not one guy that's going to go for 20 or 30. It's going to be a whole bunch of 9 to 12s. And those 9 to 12 teams, in my opinion, just my opinion, those are tougher teams to get prepared for because you don't get to just key in on one guy.
Right.
Now, the point guard makes them go, but the team itself, they're pretty tough, Eddie.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eddie, for reminding me of that crap. Thank you.
Say, Travis.
Hey, you said, Travis, Tommy said at the beginning of this podcast, coaches sometimes don't want to come on. But he just lost me.
Well, no, not if they keep bringing up the bad moments in the season.
Exactly.
There ain't enough wine. There's not enough wine in your house right now to deal with that.
Ain't enough. Hey, I only got one little glass. I'm about to run down and get another bottle.
Watch this though, Coach. This is the one thing that I've always loved about you. You own yours.
Yeah.
And again, not a lot of coaches would have said, "Hey, that crap that was on me. I got to be better at coaching." down the stretch. Like
Got to.
that.
Can't blame the
that
kids for everything, man. You can't put it on those kids.
Let's see. Tom, you want to take Isidore or you want to take Country Day?
I mean, I've done both. I played both of them. I'll talk about Isidore Newman. And
All right,
Livingston.
go ahead. Catch Isidore, man, because I heard that game was worth his weight in gold. Ponchatoula and Newman.
Yeah, I thought. Randy does a heck of a job. I know that there's, he gets a lot, and that the talent he's got down there is good. And he does a heck of a job getting them on the right page, and they play together. It's not no. I mean, there are standouts, but nobody tries to stand out. They just play together.
Right.
It was a tough game. I thought we had a couple of calls that could have gone the other way, but like I tell the guys, I say, got to fight through them. Know how to handle it.
I'm gonna just say this, man. My favorite Newman player, his name is Kanan Jefferson. He's one of the toughest, scrappiest point guards you will see on any team, and you just gotta respect that, man. And as for Metairie Park Country Day, man, Coach McGuire. When you talk about coaches that's been steady and consistent, if you don't mention Country Day, you're lying to yourself.
Right.
You're lying to yourself. That's just like when earlier Coach Tom was talking about Mark Cassio at Catholic. Like, all those guys, man, they birds of a feather. Like, you gotta know how to coach to play in the Catholic League, because they're gonna backdoor cut you to death with a Swiss Army knife. And if you're not disciplined, if you're not focused, you're gonna get the score's gonna be like 55-12.
Yeah, it's gonna be a low scoring game. I caught Country Day in the Newman tournament, and they scrappy. I mean, you look across, and I think they had a kid hurt, and I think he would have made a big difference. But they, tough, scrappy. Mike does a phenomenal job of getting them ready. I think we ended up kind of pulling away at the end, but I mean, it was really tough. It was a war for 3.9 quarters.
Wow.
Travis, you want to take the 700 win?
Wow.
Coach? You want to take the coach that eclipsed 700 this year?
Look, I tell you, I was actually on the phone with him yesterday talking about another team, but he's got a good scrappy group again. I think he's younger than he usually is. I think he's got some younger kids. Him and Dunham, they're in that same district, and they're both pretty close in that power rating. Dunham might be a little bit more talented than Episcopal this year. But, when those two teams play, it's like the Hatfields and the McCoys. It's like I say Santa Maria EA. It's a serious deal. So, one of those two teams probably has a good shot to get into that mix. One team that I have seen lately that's playing good basketball is not in our area, but St. Thomas Aquinas. I know it's in Thomas's area. But I've seen that they've been playing pretty good, and they got a couple wins over some teams that I went, okay. They're putting it together over there, in January. But Episcopal and Dunham will be in that mix. I think one of those two teams will be in the quarterfinal game, trying to maybe upset a team, try and slide into that top 28.
Travis, I'm going to ask you this one more time before I put my foot down and demand it. Don't call my friend Thomas. He's Tom.
Man, look, I'm going to tell you. That dude's got a squad, and he coaches the heck out of them, man. I got a lot of respect for Tom. I got a lot of respect for Tom.
You talk like that. Look, I'm gonna tell you what. You want to.
I got a lot of. If I could bet some money, I got a lot of money on that green wave rolling into Lake Charles this year. Because I tell you what, they're well coached. They're tough. I like that team. They were in our tournament, and I watched them steamroll Scotlandville. EA. One after the other.
I apologize. I caught him on the first night.
No, you did.
I said I put an asterisk beside it.
And Carlos probably wouldn't mind having another chance at you, but I'm just telling you that night.
That's why. You said it. I didn't.
Yeah, that night, I'm gonna tell you what, the Green Waves. I'm gonna tell you, those guys are for real, man. He's got a good group, and I'm excited to see how they finish.
Hey, no disrespect to Class B and C, no disrespect to Class B and C, but one is Northwood Lena. Two, hey, shout out to Crescent City, man. They're back. They're back at number 2, man, after losing their longtime coach, Sean Dumas. They're back at number 2, St. Martin Episcopal. Man, my grandfather knew his dad, Lincoln Prep Finest at 4, and the man that I don't know a coach in the United States that don't know the team that's at number 5, and that's Dexter Washington, Hamilton Christian Warriors. Man, great job that these guys are doing in Division 4, which is essentially Class 1A, Division B, and Division C, if I'm not mistaken. But I think we got like 20 more minutes. And again, everybody want to talk about the heavyweights on the non-select side. Don't you start, Travis.
No.
Division 1, man, Division 1. New Iberia at 1. Ruston. Congrats to Ruston, man. Ruston was right there on the cusp. 2019, 2020. They were kind of like where EA has been for the last 5-6 years. Couldn't get out of that second round. And now Ruston appears to be the truth.
Yeah.
Talking to Wiseman's Casey Jones. Casey said, man, that's not the fight you want to have.
Yeah.
And Casey is loaded in saying that's not the fight you want to have. So at 3, everybody loves Zachary. Back-to-back state champions. I don't know that team at number 4, man. Tom Taylor punches to wave at 4. And look, I want to do this right here, man. I want to show Coach Anthony Skiro some love, man. Everyone thought when Jalen Cook left and went off to LSU that Walker was done forever. And here Coach Skiro is, just 2.5 years later, back in the top 5. Walker rounding off the top 5. And hell, I got to do this because I didn't even know this myself, man. We're not going to talk about them, but shout out to the Sulphur Tours. I don't ever remember hearing future present, Sulphur being in the top 10. So shout out to Sulphur, man. That's love. And one more, y'all got to get this one out, man. Y'all know I love my alma mater. Shout out to Coach J Mad at the Mad House. On Millhaven. Y'all know what it is. Go Big Red. But, hey, Coach Russ, nobody knows New Iberia better than you. And, again, Coach Chad is doing a great job at 20-1. Can I be brutally honest?
No.
No, yeah, good
We
answer.
ain't going there.
Good
We
answer.
ain't going there. We're not going
He
there.
said no.
Hey, man, look, Tom knows good ball club. Chad is doing a phenomenal job. Some good players, man, and playing hard. And, they're doing a phenomenal job, man. That, man, the thing about that this level that all of us, ironically in the same division, non-select, man, it's gonna be a grinder, bro. It's gonna be a fun deal, man.
100%.
You got, and then one thing I gotta say, man, it's been a lot of people that's, this is one of those years when you look at the rankings, a lot of the better teams have played a lot of the better teams.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Ponchatoula's record. Like, look at your schedule. You know,
Yeah.
you and Nish hooked up, and you hooked up with Newman, and shoot, I think, damn, if you had a number one on your label, I think we somehow played you. We came in on the wrong end of it, but you know, I feel confident in the schedule that we played, man, and you know, shoot, Travis, watch you last year at Destrehan and come back right now. You already had 17, 18 wins. And you told me this summer, came down to team camp and said, Kobe going to be young and young
We
mousefoot.
are, yeah.
Man, they're doing well, man.
No, I'm gonna tell you. Look, we
say that
we
again.
are
Who
on.
said it?
Just
Yeah.
lie.
I said it. I said it.
Okay.
I said it. Look, I did. We are young, and I'm gonna tell you this. You know, I got a couple seniors that have, you know, stepped up not only just on the court, but just in some leadership roles of some of these young guys, and that's why we're winning some games. And we played some tough teams, and you know, and I like where we are. I like our group, you know, but it's, you know, it's one of those years, you know, and I agree with you. We were talking about this bracket and how it's all changing. You know, what you see in this Division I non-select is competitiveness. You're going to see 28 teams that are going to be competitive, and certainly the top half for sure. But, you know, we talk about select, non-select and all that business, and it's good and great, but we're going to play games. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to match up and play whoever we play. And I agree with you. This deal right here is wide open. You know, we have Zachary next week and Walker the week after that coming up. And both of those teams in our area are doing what they do. You know, Hober wants to say Walker. Hober wants to say Walker last two. Look, Skiro's got a deal going over there. They got a good deal.
He said the last 2 years they were in the semis last
year.
Last year.
Yeah.
Really?
Look,
last year, Hober.
They're big, physical, and look, they're tough. They are tough, and you know, we all know about Zachary, but those are the two teams in our area that, you know, we all trying to be like, you know, on some level. We all trying to get on that level.
Tell you how competitive it is. Walker beat Zachary, and then Ponchatoula turns around and cracked Walker pretty good.
Yeah,
and that's a pretty good Walker team, man. It's gonna be.
So they came back. They cracked back. We caught them in the U-High tournament, and they changed the game plan a little bit, and they got us that time.
Gotcha. My apologies.
Can I say something real quick, man? I remember as a young guy, man, he shot the mid-range ball really well.
Hey, you were in the Gold Dome today shooting that mid-range, huh?
No, not me, dog. Not me. Not me, bro. I'm talking about Wayne, Bashea, Randall. I remember, Todd, I told you, I said, he's going to be really good one day. He's there.
Well, hoping he's there.
He's
I'm
there.
going to tell you. Look, guys, what he's doing, I'm going to just say, we play those jokers February 10th. We play those cats February 10th. And I told Portia, because Portia and I, we talk 2 or 3 times a week. We talk about 3 or 4 times just today. I said, man, you don't look, dude. You can just sit back and get you a bag of popcorn and a Coke, and them cats are coming on February the 10th, man. It's gonna be a fun one, and actually turning that into a really good rivalry. But to say Wayne Randall has really stepped out and is really blossoming, and I think he's arguably top 5, no doubt top 10 junior in the state right now, man. The way he's playing and carrying the torch and does a little bit of everything, man. So I just know February 10th, I just need him to be just to be off a little bit, be tired.
That needs to be on ESPN, that game.
Man,
look, bro. I want to show you some love as well, Travis. His name is Latavian Scooter Crockett. He's averaging about 28, 29 points a game on the season. The young shooting guard can really fill up the basket. So y'all don't Travis don't need nobody's sympathy. He got it pretty good over there.
No,
What they say
look,
in the movie, who got it better than us?
look, he's playing. Scooter's playing great, and you know he's a major piece why this young group is kind of gelling, and he's just such a great kid. You know, he's best friends with everybody on our basketball team, and I'm not just talking about the varsity kids. I'm talking about the freshmen. You know, every kid in that locker room, he is best friends with them, and it's just so neat to see. And I feel like we have a good culture at Santa Monica. But this kid is making this culture just so fun to be around. I told somebody the other day, you know, we're 19-7. If we were 7-19, I'd have been in that weight room yesterday when we were in there, and they were playing Ed Sheeran, all of them singing and acting like fools, lifting, and I'd have been smiling and laughing, and that's what it's all about. This kid, Latavian Crockett, he is special, and not just on the court. The other night against Dutchtown, he had 31 in the first half. He got mad at me because I pulled him out when he had 43 with 6 minutes left.
God,
You know, he had 5 threes in the first half. But look, and I'm gonna tell you,
Coach,
he can play.
Is that your number 4?
That's number 4, yeah. And
I'm
look, he
gonna tell
can
you,
play, but he's a good player. But he's a freaking better kid. I'm gonna tell you what, he's just amazing. And you know, it's been a pleasure having him in our program. He's got a chance to break the school record in scoring. For all the stats that I have, at least. And he deserves every second of all that. He does. He deserves every second. But he's helped us for sure have a good season this year. Thank you, Hober, for letting me acknowledge him. He deserves some acknowledgement. Kid's a great kid.
Hey, Tom.
I'm gonna tell on me and Travis real quick. I think we played y'all in the Hall of Fame game.
Oh, that wasn't a good night for the games.
And look, it really wasn't. And you know, I think we ended up walking away with it.
Oh yeah.
And we talked after the game, and he said, "Yeah, my best player didn't even da 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 da." And I go, "Who are you talking about?"
That's right.
And Travis looks at me and he goes, "That's my answer right there." So you're welcome. I don't know, but I hope I guess he's.
It's funny. We talked about that game the other day, and you're right. That was a lot of motivation. It was.
Yeah, that's good. And look, I mean, I'm glad he's turning it on. You know, you know, bittersweet. You know, but you know, I'm proud of him. That's good. That's good.
Look, Tom. I know this is a hard thing to do. I know this is a hard thing to do.
Oh boy.
I need you to give it everything you got, the same way you did when you talked about every other school you've talked about. It's hard to actually talk about your own team, man. But
Right. Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, I'm proud of my guys. If we start naming names on both sides, select, non-select, you talking about the top 5, you know, I played them. I said, I figured out a few years ago, if you want to get good, you got to play good. If you want to get great, you got to play great. There's some names out there that we always looked up to, and we wanted to climb that ladder. I call it climbing the mountain, getting to the peak. And I said, you know, some teams like Scotlandville, you know, go back to the select, non-select. Who's really the best team in the state? You know, I'd like to see maybe a playoff between the select, non-select, just to see if you really the number 1 team. You know, that might be a moneymaker, Hobart. You know,
right.
Just look, right. Look. That's divided by 5. Remember that, okay? So
gotcha, bro.
But you know, we played Wasman. We played Casey over at Wasman. We played them down in Burton. We played Country Day. Played Newman. We played Newman again. I think February 10th, February 13th, somewhere in that week right there. I got the jam-packed week. My guys are fun to be around. Travis talked about culture. They love each other. They've gone to school together for years. They've grown up playing. They've had the same dream. They've held each other accountable. I've gotten to watch them grow from my camp as kids. Several of them have come to camp, and now they bought into the whole system. And then, you know, there was a couple guys that were missing, and they came back. Alan Graves is one of them. he was originally at U High, and due to some circumstances, he wanted to come back to Ponchatoula, and he's a big part of it. But he's got teammates, and the character within him is incredible. Talent wise, we got a lot of guys that I think we're in that. We do have a couple key elements, but we got 3 or 4 guys that can put 10 to 12, 15 on you, any given night. So it's, it's just my job to kind of figure out who's going in that direction, who's feeling it, who's going to be a passer this game, which way it goes. And then, if it fails, we just kind of get out of the way, give it to Allen and say, go for it, big boy. And then they coach, it's all coaching though. So.
Right. Hey, Eham, can you take Russ and them good old Bearcats? Can you do them a little justice?
They're a matchup nightmare.
Yeah.
No, seriously. I don't know names. I just know the 6'6" kid. He's a guard. He's a guard, but like you say, he hangs around the rim. Your offensive rebounds well. They're not gonna do anything special, man. They're gonna play man to man. They're gonna get up in you. Old school 2-5A basketball. 2-5A district, y'all know for years. You go back when Chris Bush was at Ruston and Bakari Beck was at West Monroe and Casey Jones was at Washington. I mean, it's like Ryan Bond has reinvented that.
Ryan's a heck of a coach.
Yeah, at Ruston, and so we got him at the first of the year, and I was amazed. They shot the ball. They shoot the ball better than you anticipate. I mean, they actually shoot the ball, but they're not looking for that. Those jokers are going to the hole. They're gonna run their stuff. They're gonna get downhill as much as possible. They're going to get to the free throw line. And like I said, that's the 6'6" kid that they have. He's a guard, so he's a matchup nightmare. You can't put a big on that guy. He can go to the perimeter. He can put it on the floor. He can post it up, and he is going to crash the glass. So that number 2 seed they have is legit. It's legit. They're a physical group. They lost to Washington the other night, but like I said, that's going to happen in 2-5.
Them lions take names and
I mean, he can't help himself. He can't help himself, bro.
I can't. If anybody still loves their alma mater, it's this guy. Yeah. This guy loves Washington. Yeah. And so, y'all don't love y'all high school. That's y'all, man. My quarterback, Red Ellis, is still the best quarterback I've ever seen.
There you go. But yeah, man, the non-select, you get the top end, it's definitely legit. But like I said, man, once you kind of go down a little bit, man, I will not be surprised this year after the first and second round. I will not be surprised. If somebody slips up one night and one of these lower seeds, get in there and get 1 or 2 games. But Ruston is they are legit. Be ready.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Man, Division III is stacked with talent. Division III is stacked with talent. Number 1, D. Wiseman Wildcats, 1600 Arizona. And don't mess that up because they'll let you know. They will let you know. They're not MLK, Arizona. Mm-hmm. Hey, the Highway, man. I can't think of his name right now, but he's
Rob Alonso.
Him. Really great coach. Man, he's good. Carroll has a first-year coach at number 3. He played Division I basketball.
You know what, guys? I'm going to just tell y'all. I'm done with this show. Okay? If you're going to keep bringing up these heartbreaks, brother, I'm telling you. I ate my dinner. I'm almost done with my glass of wine. I keep bringing up these memories over. I'm going to cut you.
You played Carroll, bro.
Man, Joker hit a bomb right in front of the coach
Hey, well, Eddie,
at the buzzer.
Eddie, can I apologize in advance?
You did.
I mean, go
And number
ahead.
four-
It's your
And
show.
number 4,
It's
Bozier.
your show.
It's you.
Let me go ahead and get mine out the way. Bozier is figuring it out at the right time. I'm telling you
That's
that.
what it's about, brother.
Don't let those 9 losses fool you. They are
That's what
figuring
it's
it
all
out at the
about.
right time. First year coach Justin Collins, man, he has a formula that he has in place, and those kids are bought in, and they are starting to figure it out at the right time. So you watch out for Bossier High School.
Hey, and number 5, hey, it's Bruley, man. Bruley.
Kirby Lou.
Well coached. Shout out to Coach Luke.
His son's a heck of a player. His son's a heck of a player.
Coach Luke's daughter plays on the national team in her age group. My daughter plays on the national team in her age group. Both play with the Red Storm volleyball of Baton Rouge. Man, every time I see him at an event or in a gym, that's all we talk about is volleyball. We don't even talk about basketball. Like, we be so happy seeing our kids kick butt. But that's what Bruley, again, Bruley's been tough for some years now. Oh, that was you, huh, Travis? My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. I haven't seen them play, and I actually haven't even seen them on film, but the word I've gotten is that his son's playing really good, and they got a good group. Like I said, I can't speak for him because I haven't seen him, but, he always seems to put a team together that's always in that mix. He does a great job, Kirby does. He's a good guy.
Man, Tom, we might have to skip you this time, man.
Wow, what you want to know? Man, I'll try and pay attention.
You played Wiseman? Didn't I hear you say
I played
you played?
Yeah.
Tell us about what you think about Casey Jones and his magic, man.
Man, so when Casey was at Washita, I watched his teams a lot. Just as learning and coming up, and then we played them down at Burton, and man, they are tough. I mean, when I say tough, they beat us up, and not playing dirty, not just they. I mean, you can't cross the lane without getting hit. You're gonna get boxed out. Gordon, I mean, you better be able to handle some pressure. Their energy, their motor. I mean, their motors. They're tough. We gave them everything we got. I think maybe you play in a different environment, but that's why we wanted to play down in Burton. Maybe step foot on the court before we go. Hopefully, knock on some wood, make a little run, maybe. But dude, they are freaking the real deal. I think they could pick their division and be number one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, hey, I'm gonna catch Carroll, man, unless Eddie wants to get him. I know
I hadn't seen him.
You didn't seen him, so
not since the summer. Well, I saw him in a scrimmage. We scrimmaged against him early.
His name is T. Henderson, first year head coach at Carroll.
Yeah.
Again, he was a Division I hooper, former Carroll alumni.
Yeah.
Coach Hen played at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
And he's bringing all that he learned from the college level back to his alma mater. He got a couple of seniors and seniors that are leading the way that are really, really good. They got I think he's a 6'4", 6'5" sophomore that plays around the rim.
Yeah.
Ricky Johnson, man, that kid can let the ball fly. He can shoot.
Well, that must have been the one that hit the buzzer beater on us.
Number one?
Yeah, we play Carroll. Yeah. You asked Eddie about Carroll. I just told you, but we played them. That's why I'm not doing this podcast no more.
Don't do me that, bro. Don't do me that.
He's trying to spare you, Coach.
Yeah, that's what it is. Tom, that's exactly what it is. But I'll tell you what, man. They did we caught them at the Northside tournament. Didn't know much about them at the time. Had some film, watched some film. Man, I tell you what, they really, really defend. That Washington Wasserman, Carroll. That was my first time ever playing Carroll. I know how Washington Wasserman play. But Carroll defends, man. Kids play hard, scrappy. Got good guard play. Kid can create his own. Got a kid that has a burner. And again, we had him beat, man, and can't let one go from the timeline. And he knew it was going when he let it go, man. He held that follow through all the way through the rim, bro. So, coach got him playing, man. It's Louisiana basketball is in a really, really good place right now. And you know, it's kind of crazy on the, you know, we're talking about all these schools, man, and people still feel like we don't have good basketball in Louisiana. We got really good coaches who coach their kids up, who develop their kids, who prepare their kids. No, we don't, you know, have a whole lot of 6'10s walking around, and if everybody think that's what it is, but you know, come get some of this Louisiana toughness, man. You know,
Coach,
kids go from the state, they go places, compete, and help programs.
Yeah.
Coach, that district you're talking about with Carroll, Wasserman, I think Richwood's in there. I think Sterlington's got to be a top 10 team.
Man, I saw them. I saw them this past weekend. Wow.
I don't even know. I think is Union Parish in there. I think they got to be tough. I mean, they football school, but I mean that looks like a brutal district. That's one of those beat the heck out of you for the playoffs. One of those teams, maybe two, maybe three of those teams could be a top 28 team.
Yeah. So they got Richwood. See, Richwood is actually in Division III, and I think in Sterlington is as well. So the other one's in Division II, Wiseman and Carroll. And then so Division III, that's what,
that's one of those where their district got split up a little bit.
Yeah. Right. Now that Division III, Division III is loaded too.
Now that you guys bring up the Division III, guess where we are? Division III, number 1. Man, I love this young guy, man. He's on fire. Port Allen, Mario Jackson. Man, he is like, you just gotta love his energy, man.
Oh yeah.
Coach Demo Jack be on it, and you know, again, he's 25.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
He got a lot more energy.
I think he's a little older than 25, but I tell you what, he's doing a heck of a job, man. They had a huge win against Liberty last night, man. And you know, I don't know if y'all remember, usually you may, and Tom, you're not from the area, but man, DeMario was a heck of a player.
Really?
Right.
He was a heck of a player in high school, man. Played for Harold Boudreaux over at Bruley.
Okay.
And man, went on to play. I think it was Northeast Community College.
Northeast.
Yeah, he played for.
Boudreaux. Huh?
Yeah,
he played for
Boudreaux.
He played Boudreaux. He playing.
Yeah.
And then he went to, I think it was North Alabama.
Yeah.
But when it was Division II, but man, DeMario Jackson was a player in a player and a half in high school, man, and you know, he coached just like he played, man. A lot of energy, fire and tough.
He, from what I was told, he's the best point guard that Northeast Mississippi Community College ever had.
That's saying a lot, bro.
And I got that from Cora Wright himself.
Wow.
So,
look, I'm gonna tell you, his team is good. They are good, and he does a great job because they play their tails off, and they are tough. That's another one of them teams you said could probably play in any division.
Yeah.
Those guys can play in most divisions, and I mean, and we played. I know I see French Settlement second. We played them this year. They got us. We tough little call right there at the end, but they're a very experienced team, and what they do well. But Port Allen right now is the class of that division, and kudos to DeMario. A lot of pressure probably following Derek and going over there with, you know, trying to follow up what he had kind of got it rolling. But that dude has not slowed that ball from rolling. It is still rolling.
No,
and
man,
he's a good dude. He's a hard worker.
I want to say this too. His guy over there, Ellen McQuillan, if he's not, he should be. His name should be put in the hat for Player of the Year.
Yeah, he's a good player. He is a good player. They got a couple of them on that team. That team's
they got
good.
their own kid too, and Draven. Like again, Draven is averaging, I think, right around 31 a game. And Fritz
he dropped a cool 28 on us. Just a cool 28. Now, you know,
his game is silky smooth.
Oh, he's tough too now. He's a good player.
At 3, Winfield. At 4, man, this guy been doing it for say it with me, forever. Terry Martin's Richwood Rams. He got a guy to drop 51 this year. And at 5, my nephew.
He's good.
Antoine James at Rabel High School. Man, again, Rabel is another one of those schools where people said, man, they losing their coach, they will not be the same. They had a really tough transition year because sometimes kids, when you go from the assistant to coach to head, kids try to take over the team and hijack the team sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But he stuck to his grounds. He put some people off just to show that he didn't mind losing. So, hey, somebody pick some. Man, them 5 really good teams to talk about.
I played Richwood. We caught Richwood on the night after. I think they were 11-0. They Bonville beat them the night.
Tom, who haven't you played, man?
Man, Port Allen apparently. I need to get.
He tried to get the Celtics to come to Ponchatoula, but they were busy. They were on the road.
That's the Knicks tonight.
Yeah,
y'all playing some ball, man. God, no.
Well, yep. But man, look, we caught him in that. I'm not sure his name. Number 1 for Richwood. Courtney McCarthy, that dude, he can go, and he must have been. I think it was a noon game. They were in New Orleans at Newman, getting up out of the hotel. So he was asleep through 3 quarters, and I'm glad he slept because we was up about 8. We was about 18 or 20, and then all of a sudden this dude whop pop pop pop, and he cut it down to about 7, and buddy, I said, here we go, and luckily we ran out of time, but look, he can go. I mean, and he's got a good complementary cast. If they had another couple, maybe another score that could take some pressure off of him that you didn't have since, but he's dropping 51 in January. Everybody should know by now. So he must be seeing 3 or 4 guys and just that good.
Yeah.
I think Mark Jackson said it best: hand down, man down. Like,
man, look, if not, he'll jump over your hand too. And he's a big boy. He's a big boy. He's a solid athlete. He can shoot it. He can raise up and shoot it. He's scary good. If he had one of them other cats with him that could take some pressure off, they'd be extremely dangerous. More dangerous than they are right now.
Eddie. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I went to Division 4 already. My bad, Eddie. Man. Eddie, take Rabel.
No, I actually haven't seen them. I hadn't seen Rabel.
Really?
They just lost to Bossier in the deal we had up here Saturday, I think by like 4 or 5 points. But I hadn't seen them, man. I hadn't seen them. So when you're on my end of things, in my first year, you already see all that going on, man.
Hey. So what you're saying is you ain't allowed to come outside yet.
I ain't allowed to come outside yet, man. I ain't allowed to come outside yet. Lord,
man,
Ponchatoula, Tom, boy, I miss playing schedules like that.
Man, I thought I played some people. I thought we played every darn nobody, man. Shoot.
Yeah, we
boy.
Yeah, we that's the we play chess, not checkers. That's something I've learned. I've been saying that to my guys. I said, like playing North Shore last night, I didn't want to, I want to see if we could beat them without pulling out every stop. And and it was a very close game because I'm thinking long game now.
Right.
So yeah, we're not scared to play people, but you got to be realistic. I tell young coaches, schedule wins. If you're trying to get a team to believe in you, I said the belief is what's got to come first. Once they believe in you, then you can go play the more challenging teams and build yourself up. Not everybody gets to take over a powerhouse.
Right. Hey man, we got 5 minutes and 50-something seconds.
Well, that's enough time for your closing thoughts, huh?
I want to acknowledge Division 4 first, though, and I don't really.
You ain't gonna have enough time, Hobert.
Huh?
You ain't gonna have enough time.
Just gonna mention them. We'll take care of them next time. We'll start that. At 1, Franklin. At 2, East Feliciana. 3, everybody's favorite team, White Castle. At 4, Eddie's Old School.
Yeah.
Lakeview still relevant.
Yeah.
Lakeview still relevant.
Still in there.
Hey, and shout out to, man, like everybody a couple of years ago, everybody thought North Central was about to close. They have Devion Laverne, who put up 64, and the school board woman wrote an essay about sportsmanship. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you, Coach. I'm gonna send it to you.
Don't send that. I ain't got time to read no crap.
Hey, North Central football team be getting beat 80-0. Nobody writes an essay, but they return the favor in basketball. Who do you love? Who do you love? Yada yada yada. Who do you love? Hey, y'all say something, man, and I'm just gonna say bye. Go ahead, Eddie. Give me something. Say
First
something.
off, hey, bro, appreciate you including me in this great panel of guys. Tom, I hadn't had a chance to officially, meet you yet, so I'm looking forward to get a chance to connect with you. I'll be coming down next year to play against Archbishop Hannon in that area, so I'll be coming down in that area, man. Might try to connect with you. So, Hope, thank you for including me, guys. I hope you guys finish out strong. Much respect. Todd Russ is that's my big bro. My big bro. I love you, dude. Coach Uzi, man, I know we gonna connect as time goes on. But appreciate you for letting me have on, man. I hope you guys finish strong.
Tom. You muted, bro.
You muted yourself.
You muted. We love you too, Tom. Travis.
No, I talked to Hobert about trying to do this with a few guys and trying to, promote basketball because I think we need to. And I think tonight was a great night getting some guys from some different areas, some guys that, are working their tail off. And I appreciate that. And we always say we're doing this for the kids, and we are. And I think that needs to stay the focus. And I do appreciate Hobert having me on here. And I got a lot of respect for all the guys on here and all these coaches in Louisiana, man. We're coaching hard. We're trying. And I do respect y'all and wish y'all good luck. And I hope you guys have a great finish unless we run into y'all. And I hope y'all have a bad night that night. But no, good luck to you guys. A lot of respect. And it's great how we're all in the same division, man. You never know what could happen. We might be linking up here pretty soon. But again, good luck to you guys. And Hobert, you're doing a great job, man. And I appreciate everything you've done for me and for high school basketball. I do.
Mr. Point Guard, you.
Yeah.
Hey, man, listen, I appreciate you guys. It was fun. It was fun, man, to get some insight on the state. And, again, as you all said, man, just trying to work to get better. And thanks for having me. Thanks for having this. And I'll do it one more time. But you're not going to bring up these heartbreaks, man. So, best of luck to you guys, fellas.
Tom. Oh, you still don't got no mic. Okay, it's all good. Hey, Tom, I'm going to tell y'all what Tom is over there.
Can you unmute him, Hobert? Do you think you can unmute him?
I didn't mute him, I don't think. Wait a minute. Let me see. No, it wasn't me. I didn't mute him.
He muted himself.
He's live on my side.
Okay.
But look, this is what Tom said. He texted me, you guys. He said he'll play anybody anywhere, his name and date and time, as long as he got 22, 15, and 5.
All right, dude. Let's call
All right.
Golden State.
Hey, thank you guys. Remember, get off the bench, get into the game.
Take it easy,
Later.
fellas.
Have a great evening.
Y'all too.